Zabransky, shotgun, steps back, throws the ball, got it over the middle, has it complete, and it's lateraled at the 30, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Boise!
On January 1st, 2007, in the Fiesta Bowl, Boise State did more than simply upset Oklahoma, 43-42 in overtime, boldly using trick plays at crucial moments.
Fake play, they're gonna score!
The Broncos helped produce one of the most entertaining college football games ever, while propelling this mid-major program into the national spotlight.
Well, since then, a lot of eyes have been on us, but these kids, since 2006, have done some good things as well. And so now more people are really paying attention to us.
Beginning with that magical first season, under Chris Peterson, the Broncos have gone 49-4. And while they still see themselves as an overachieving band of underdogs from the Western Athletic Conference, they were ranked 3rd in the preseason Associated Press poll. They were also ranked 5th in the coaches poll, part of the formula used by the BCS to determine who plays in its bowl games. They are the highest preseason rankings ever given to a team that doesn't play in a BCS conference.
I wish we weren't. And I know that we need to be that high to give us a chance down the road, but I just think it all works out. I mean, I just continually worry always about the bullseye continue to grow.
The ascent of Boise State is remarkable when you consider its history. Until 1965, the school was a junior college. It wasn't until 1996 that Boise State became a Division I-A program. And yet, it has already climbed to national prominence.
Avery to the end zone. Touchdown Broncos.
The typical Bronco team is comparatively small, fast, smart, aggressive, and populated by players who were underappreciated when they left high school. Over the past 5 years, according to Rivals.com, Boise State has averaged the 75th best recruiting class in the country.
I think there's a lot of guys on our team that use their recruiting for motivation. You know, you kind of keep that chip on your shoulder.
Last year, as a sophomore, Boise State's Kellen Moore threw 39 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions, and finished 7th in the Heisman Trophy voting. And yet, when Moore was in high school, he was hardly besieged by college suitors.
I was really recruited by 3 schools, Boise State, Idaho, and Eastern Washington. Not too many people really look for a 6-foot pocket quarterback.
People get caught up, in sometimes the measurables. And the hardest part of recruiting is figuring out the intangibles.
By winning with few blue-chip prospects, Boise State has become known for developing its players. Combine that with the team's innovative offense and Peterson's gaudy 49-4 record, and his name often pops up when other programs are hiring. In January, Peterson signed a 5-year contract extension. This year, he will earn $1.3 million, but still much less than other top college coaches, whose salaries now range from $3 all the way up to $5 million. You could be getting paid significantly more money at other schools. Why are you still at Boise State?
I've never been one that's been really excited about, moving and chasing. It's all fun and games when they're talking about other jobs being open. It's your life that they're talking about and moving your family. It's not just the coach moving. I mean, your family's got so much at stake in the place that they live as well. There you go.
Not seeing Boise State as merely a stepping stone may also have something to do with what happened to his youngest son, Sam, when Peterson was an assistant at Oregon.
He was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor. It happened when he was 13 months old. He's 12 years old now. And, it changed our lives for sure and for the better to really keep things in perspective. Push it. A good place and you like the people. I think you got to be careful what you wish for.
Although Boise State has plans to expand, for now it still plays in a stadium with only 32,000 seats. And according to the most recent data reported to the NCAA, in the 2008-2009 school year, Boise State spent $7.2 million on its football program, while Ohio State topped the nation by spending $40.8 million. And yet, for all its appeal to some as a lean and scrappy mid-major, not everyone respects Boise State.
You're always going to have people who question you, but you know, that's kind of where we take advantage of that. We use that as motivation.
Playing in the Western Athletic Conference, their critics say the Broncos face lesser competition than the teams in the 6 BCS conferences do. Last season, Boise State played the 96th hardest schedule in the country, significantly weaker than the other top 10 teams in the final BCS standings. You've heard people say this, you know, Boise State's really good, but they don't play a difficult schedule. What's your reaction when you hear that?
I think sometimes they take something away from the kids, and when they kind of minimize, you know, some of our schedule, because it's not easy. I mean, we can only play who's on our schedule, and we just don't worry about, you know, what everybody else is saying.
It is caught, touchdown, Broncos!
Last season began with Boise State defeating Oregon, the eventual Pac-10 champs, in a game overshadowed by this infamous post-game punch. At the end of the regular season, the Broncos were 13-0, but the BCS formula left them out of the national title game. They did appear in their second BCS bowl game, where they beat TCU in the Fiesta Bowl.
I mean, frankly, when it comes to the BCS, I hope the BCS implodes on its own, or somebody in Washington decides to take it apart for antitrust reasons.
Let me once again say how strongly I feel about the privilege of working with you.
Boise State President Dr. Robert Kustra has been one of the BCS's most outspoken critics.
The odds are stacked against us in ways that they aren't for a team in an automatic qualifying conference.
With this year's number 5 ranking in the preseason coaches poll, the Broncos could become the first non-BCS team to play for a national championship. But as a non-BCS team, Kustra says they must be perfect right from their opening game.
When we play Virginia Tech, that's it for us. We better not lose that game or any other one game of the entire season. It's over.
As for Peterson, who is trying to keep his team focused, even as it receives unprecedented attention, all this talk about national titles makes him uneasy.
At the end of the season, if it happens to be, hey, it all lined up for us, then we can get excited about going to a BCS game or some other game like that. But I will tell you this, that's probably about as much of a conversation that I've ever had about a national championship here, and that's just not how we think.